Hi, I'm Councilwoman Katrina Baskin, representing the beautiful city of Miami Gardens, the largest Black city in South Florida. And I'm so happy to introduce to you all my Save the Arts initiative. With that, we have Broadway in the Gardens. Today, I'm so happy to have with us Miss Vaughn. Is it okay if I call you Miss Vaughn?
Yes, of course.
All right, Miss
Of
Vaughn.
course.
Ms. Vaughn is all things great, from an educator to an artist to a mommy. She does a lot of things, and she also dresses really, really cute. Vaughn, can you stand up for us really quick so we can see your ensemble right here? Just beautiful, and I love how creative you are in putting your pieces together. You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, how are you today, Ms. Vaughn?
I am well. I can just say this is a full circle moment. I remember meeting you years ago when we were at Florida Memorial University.
Mhm.
You were actually one of the people that helped me pass my certification test to be a teacher. And at that time, I wasn't an artist.
Yeah,
And at that
wow.
time, I don't know. But now seeing you sitting across from you as councilwoman and I'm a teacher, it's a full circle moment.
Wow. And at that time, that had to have been at least maybe 10 years ago, over 10 years ago.
10, yes.
And at that time, even up until 2 or 3 years ago, I never thought about going into politics.
Really?
At all.
Wow.
I was just in my lane
Yes.
as a teacher, always wanting to give back to the community in which I worked in. So if I worked at Henry Reeves Elementary, I was servicing that community. If I worked at North County, I was servicing that community.
Right.
And I never thought to go into politics, but just being more active in the community and seeing the needs of the children and the families, I was just, God pushed me there, and that's where I am right now. So amazing. It is so great to see you looking beautiful as usual.
Thank you. Yes.
But you are here today because as a result of the $32 million budget cut that the governor has sliced to the performing arts industry, I started my Save the Arts initiative. And you, as an art teacher that has a background in educating our youth, whether it's academically or through the art, you have had such a great experience. And you have provided such great exposure to our youth. And I just kind of want to talk about what that has been like for you.
Oh, it's been quite challenging, I would say. Going to Florida Memorial University, I have the gift of knowing how to teach every subject. Mm-hmm. But as we know, I've found love for the arts during the time of graduation, and I've become now a muralist, a visual artist. But being in the schools as an interventionist, I notice a lot. In the classrooms, you see kids, the teacher can be teaching a lesson. Mm-hmm. And a lot of our kids nowadays, they like to draw, and they can draw. Yeah. They're very creative. So I feel like, normally when we have these things, we have to make time for the creative process of these kids, artist therapy. And if we don't have it in the schools, that's the main thing. They're going to introduce it into the classrooms. And most times they can't focus on art in the classrooms because they have to prepare for tests or prepare for, more important, I would say, subjects. And so with this, Saving the Arts, I really feel like our children need it.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. As a classroom teacher, I taught in the classroom for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
My concentration being in reading.
Yes.
In low performing schools in Miami-Dade County. And so I saw a lot of that, children not being able to focus, but you go and look at their paper and what do you see? The beautiful drawings, right?
Yes.
Sometimes they're doodling because they can't focus.
Right.
And what I learned to do over time as an experienced educator was to utilize those students' artwork as displays in my classroom. Yes. So I started allowing the children to help me to create charts and posters and help me to decorate the bulletin board. And what a great idea that was for me. Amazing. And really in the moment, I had no idea what I was doing, why I was doing it. I was just really focusing on not fussing at my kids, not making them feel bad about, because they didn't do anything wrong. I just realized at that time they had an attention deficit issue. And let me help, try to utilize that in other areas.
Yes.
But you mentioned something. The students are not allowed to partake in art because we have standardized testing, right?
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about that.
So the standardized testing, the kids have to focus on the curriculum that's based for that school or the classroom, and they don't have no leeway or no time for creativity. And honestly, I feel like if they had at least one art class, because at the school I'm currently teaching at or working with, they don't have art at all.
Yeah.
So they don't have that time or hours where they can let go of that, creative rush they have. They have to kind of like, put it to the side or make time for it while studying. So it's like, yeah, I feel like it's super important.
Yeah. And so the reason why those students are missing out on that art experience is because they are considered low performing students, right?
Yep.
And so because they are considered low performing students, by law, the state has to provide an additional 180 minutes of reading intervention, reading, giving them the foundation of reading. It's important. However, we have to make time. We have to find the time in their schedule to give them those outlets. Right. Sometimes in schools, that is the only opportunity that a lot of children have to even dive into what they think they might be interested in, whether it's art, whether it's music, whether it's learning a different language. And so we pull all of these things away from the students in the schools and we teach them how to pass a test.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what it is. Right?
Yeah, you're so right. I agree. And it's a lot for a child, honestly, to take on. But that's where we are today. And I will listen. Anything I can possibly do to save the arts, I will do so.
Oh, you're part of it already. You're here. You're having a conversation. And I feel like that's where everything starts. It starts with a conversation first. It starts with being taking actionable steps as we are doing with the Save the Arts Initiative, where we're creating the Broadway in the Gardens event. And that's where it's going to start. Because initially when I thought about doing something to save the arts, it was just, okay, let's all come together and do a panel discussion. We'll have breakout sessions and talk about what's going on. Because I really wanted to find ways to help these organizations stay afloat. Right. And some organizations are affected more than others. Like I found out a museum, they're only affected by their admissions because what they were doing was providing free entry to the museum.
Right.
So now they can't provide free entry. However, it's a well-known museum and people will still continue to come.
Right.
However, you have some organizations that heavily relied on these funds and they cannot function without the funds. They can't provide the piano lessons. They can't provide the painting classes anymore.
Right.
So that is very important. So you are already doing something about it. And like I said, I wanted to do something, but I wanted it to be more actionable. And for us, we have to see it to believe it. We have to talk about it. We have to care about it. So you are an artist yourself, right? What type of art do you do?
So I'm a visual artist. My medium is acrylic on canvas or any paint I would possibly put my hands on, honestly. But I didn't realize that till my senior year at Fort Memorial University.
Wow.
Yes, I painted my own graduation cap. And from there, everyone was like, who painted your cap? Can I have mine painted?
And so prior to that, you never got into...
Listen, my very first time I realized I could draw was in third grade. I had an art teacher. And from that moment, I remember...
An art teacher.
Art
class. Yes. An art teacher. Okay.
Yes. And at that time, I realized, I didn't know I could draw until I did a painting. And she submitted that painting to the youth fair. And I remember my mom and dad, getting a call about that painting, and it was displayed into a museum.
Wow.
And I remember dressing up. I'm like, why do I have to put on my church clothes on a weekday? And my mom was like, we have somewhere to go. And at that time, they knew, but I didn't. As a child, third grader, you're like, what is this for?
Exactly.
But I remember being recognized, and I remember my painting being on the wall. I was like, wow, I must be important. And as I got older, I would always draw and, put small things in my book throughout middle school. Didn't have any more art classes then. Senior year of high school, nothing. And up until college, I realized I have a talent. And I think I want to push that talent, or I think I want to be a vessel because God gave me that talent.
Absolutely.
I could look at something and draw it right away, but it'll be an animated version of that.
Nice.
So, I can help people. I can actually be that help and, that source to create their, whatever they want created, whether it's a business wall or a cap or clothing that they want to be painted. So I created my business, Von Davis Art, LLC. Nice. And I say, you know what? I'll be a vessel to everyone.
Absolutely.
Yes, while teaching.
Yes. As a child, my mom, there isn't anything that my mom doesn't think I can't do.
Yes, of course.
Even
That's
if
her
it's
job.
something that I'm not even interested in.
Oh
Right?
yes. Oh yes.
So my mom, she loves to paint. She loves to draw.
Yes.
And of course, I looked up to my mom, and I wanted to do everything I saw my mom do it.
Oh wow.
So I had started out tracing her pieces that she would draw. And so I never forget, she bought me my first sketchbook, and I called myself Drawing My Mom.
It's a try. It's a try.
It was a try.
Yes.
But she made me feel like, when you said you felt so important when you went, they had she made me feel like the best artist on the face of the earth, right?
As you are.
I'll take that.
Everyone's artist.
But if I show you that piece right now, you'd be like, Trina, I don't know what you were doing, but that was not it.
No, it's the try.
But yes, our children need to have that. And sometimes, especially with struggling readers, and I'm pretty sure you see this with being an interventionist, that they struggle so much with their academics, and they don't have an opportunity to be celebrated for other things that they're good at, whether it's sports, whether it's art, anything. There was a kid that I met that loved to clean. I mean, it was a little boy. He loved to clean. I'm like, this is a kid who is the next business owner of a cleaning company.
Yeah, because he's great at it.
Right. But if we take those things away from kids, and what if his mom told him, no, you can't clean until you finish your homework? And they're loaded with they're loaded with homework. They don't have time to clean. Imagine that. So we have to be mindful when we're giving kids take homework, right?
Yes.
They're already overloaded in class.
Yes.
We talked about the additional 180 minutes that is mandated by the state for these kids to get in order to remediate the skills that they missed out on. So even though you found out, or you really dive into your talent of painting and art in high school, in college rather, you realized as a young child that you had that. So was there anything in third grade that you remember, aside from your art teacher, like things that you would see, or colors, or anything like that you remember as a child?
I do remember a lot of shapes. I love shapes and colors, honestly. And the paints. I was like, oh, what's this? Water paint. Or what's this? Acrylic, oil paint. I was like excited. And I remember water paint, now to this day, is probably not one of my favorites. But at that time, the painting that got recognized was water paint.
Okay.
I'm like, it's the layering. I love organized chaos. And still to this day, I love a picture that's chaotic. But when you get closer to it, it has a deeper meaning.
Nice.
But there's a lot of, layering, or there's a lot of going. I don't know. How can I explain it? Any Bob Ross picture, it takes time. It's a layer on top of layer, but at the end, there's a picture. Yeah. That's something I found interesting.
And you actually brought one of your pieces with you today.
I do want to show you.
What do you have?
This is actually one of my paintings from my second to last collection.
Oh wow!
Actually, one of the paintings. So you have this fill, you have this gloss to it. But this is actually anime. If you know animation, anime artists. Mm-hmm. You have trunks here, and I kind of incorporated the feel of realism, where you have flowers, you have the mountains in the back.
Okay.
But yes, this is one of my paintings, one of my favorites, actually.
I know your students love to see your anime artwork. Oh my gosh, because that is like the thing right now, right?
Oh, they love anime. They actually put me on to read anime books and watch anime on Netflix, and I'm like, you guys really watch this stuff? But it's actually it's intriguing because it has messages within.
Yeah.
So I love it. It's animation, maybe a cartoon for a lot of people, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, it was interesting when my son first got into anime. I'm
really?
Like, I don't know about this son. But when I started watching it with him, I'm like,
it's quite good.
This is very interesting.
Very good. It's very good.
So tell me more about what your business and what you're doing with Von Davis LLC.
So at Von Davis LLC, it's a wide range. So I'm a creative director as well, aside of being an artist. I used to work, just behind the scenes of photo shoots and helping assist with posing and helping with fixing hair models and, telling them, just have that modeling adequate.
Okay.
And then for my arts, it's actually going into businesses and helping them figure out what will look great here, or help with paintings. Just assisting with directing with that.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Well, I wish you much success with your business
and
anything I can do to support you and what you're doing, because that's all a part of saving the arts as well.
Oh, yes.
So you let me know, reach out.
Okay.
It's so good to see you again.
Yes. Full circle moment. I love it. Thank you.
All right. Mm-hmm. Oh, so yes. Okay. It was so good to have Ms. Vaughn Davis with us today, talking about the importance of saving the art and her experience with art and when she began her actual diving into that talent and providing the opportunity to children. I hope that you will join us on February 21st for Broadway in the Gardens. And maybe you can bring some of your art pieces.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because we actually have some students from Northern Senior High School who are coming to display their art. Yeah, we have to provide these opportunities for our kids.
Amazing.
So you are more than welcome to bring some of your art pieces. Let me know. So I'll make sure I have easels available for you.
And I'll bring some too.
Absolutely. So we'll see you all on February 21st at the Lou Ross Performing Arts Center at the only HBCU in South Florida, Florida Memorial University. Take care. All right.